Hello, a very good morning to you walking up to us. This is the Kokoliriko Live with me, Farish Majid, from wherever you are watching us from. It's always good to start off your day with us. And today is Tuesday, and really it's still also the love month, and that means that we are just with a day that is to the Valentine's Day celebration that tells us today that is that the 13th of that is February, which is the love month, which is also the love week at the same time. But I must tell you, this day is coinciding with that is the Ash Wednesday to the Christians, and that tells us that today I must inform you that this day is actually going to be unacceptable, since it is also coinciding with one of the holidays. That means that just like the Muslims, where this day is haram, and we have a very important sayings, what the books are saying. And remember, tomorrow is also coinciding with the Ash Wednesday. That means that Christians are preparing for the fasting, and also Muslim, the Islamic faith also forbids, I do understand, forbids, that is the Valentine's Day celebrations. And that means also to you who is a believer, then definitely the Valentine's Day should also really be one that you should condemn also. And really with that, we start off your day with the Kokoliriko Live show for the Tuesday edition with me, Farish Majid. And I must say, it being a Wednesday yesterday, so many things did happen, and really I must also inform you that yesterday we did have a meeting that is organized by Uganda Revenue Authority, where so many stakeholders were drawn to attend this meeting, where we did have the stakeholders, the business community, the politicians and the rest being part of this meeting that did take place at Desert Breeze Hotel. And now the team from Uganda Revenue Authority, this meeting that did take place at Desert Breeze Hotel, and now the team from Uganda Revenue Authority is still traversing the West Nile region. And yesterday they did have that is a meeting in Koboko. And if you remember, really, Koboko is one of the areas where also lives were lost. That is in terms of these errant UPDF officers attached to that is Uganda Revenue Authority, something that over time we have talked about. And yesterday, the team that is from the top leadership, that is led by the Commissioner General, that is John R. Musinguzi, all the way from Kampala, did come into Arua City and really ensure that they have a meeting with all these stakeholders, where the leaders, the business community, raised a number of issues, raised concerns which is affecting the people from this region from paying taxes, and really also them indulging in that is smuggling, which is one of the vices that has been very much condemned by Uganda Revenue Authority, which has really been causing that is the commotion that is between the officers and really the taxpayers, which has not been very good. And really, if you remember, the relationship that is between the taxpayers and the tax body has over time being far-fetched, and really how the officers will really also sometimes dress is very scary. So I think that is why the team is also really trying to see to it that the killings does not happen again, and URA committed really to see to it that the killings does not happen in future again. And really we are now looking forward, and so the team actually also passed so many resolutions, among which is to cut off the price of number plate by half for the period of 6 months now. For those who have the numberless motorcycles, you can actually embrace this. And the number plate used to be 1.5, and if you really chop that by 2, you will be able to get the figures you are now to pay in the next 6 months. And that is something I must also encourage this young generation, really the citizens who have been having that is the problems with the Uganda Revenue Authority officers, to now ensure that they really rush out and register their motorcycles and also obtain the number plates at this affordable price, which to me is now going to really also help those who may be able to need the number plates timely. So I think started off yesterday, the resolution was passed yesterday, and the act was actually started yesterday. So the State Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Monitoring, in charge of general duties, Henry Musasizi, who was also in attendance, really did caution the people of this region to really desist from smuggling, and really if the producer can be able to really also relay what the minister was saying, then definitely it will be able to really also have an impact maybe on the viewer out there. Let's first watch this short clip on what the minister is saying in relation to smuggling. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please abandon smuggling and embrace wealth creation.
Kanis mama ko yomani afa musoro tazore avoid so kan ko kozo da bano pesa smuggling pa afa ki ti musoro fe kokore pa makoza kani pa manda bikologi sizore kiribiri.
The government has brought for you parish development model.
All right, that is the Minister Henry Musasizi, who was in attendance, and really I must say things did not go well with him, and that is the reason as to why things need to be the way they are. I must also inform you that really these people who were in attendance really raised so many pertinent issues where we did see the leaders complaining, why all West Nile? Why must only be that the people of West Nile are the ones to always be killed in terms of these errant officers? Something I must say did not really go quite well there with the leaders, and the leaders really raised so many concerns, raised so many issues as to why people of this sub-region must be killed in terms of really ensuring the enforcement. Really, enforcement has been a great challenge, and now the team that is from Uganda Revenue Authority is currently undertaking this stakeholder meeting, and now they're doing community baraza, and today they will be able to head to that is Mariokolo to also talk with the locals. And Uganda Revenue Authority actually attributes all these things that have been happening to failure really by the masses to work together with the enforcement team, and something that has always been causing problems. And Uganda Revenue Authority attributes actually these killings to the officers running for their lives, which has over time been a cause of that is concern really between these officers who want to run for their lives, and really also the community at times wants to attack them. That is how they really shoot, and in the end they injure innocent people, and it is actually the innocent people who in most cases lose their lives, not even the perpetrators, and really people who have been violating paying taxes. And that is one thing, the issue that the leadership actually did raise yesterday. And our leaders from West Nile Sub-Region who were in attendance, we did have representatives from all the local governments in West Nile Sub-Region, I must say. They were in attendance at Desert Breeze Hotel, and now our MPs, our politicians and the rest really did raise so many pertinent issues where we did see the business community also complaining, where the issue of the fish traders also really came out, and the issue of now plates where the youths find it very much expensive to pay for these now plates, and that is one factor that has been leading to smuggling was also really raised, and that is one reason I must say we need to really desist from smuggling, because smuggling definitely has a negative implication on the economy. And really one disease, if you were to compare to cancer, that can affect the economy is the issue of smuggling, and then the issue of also money laundering, which the minister also did talk about. So I really want to condemn and call upon the popes, this sub-region, to really desist from cases of the smuggling, because we do understand that we are really bordering, that is the neighboring countries of Democratic Republic of Congo and South Sudan, where the goods may be cheaper. Really, people are coming from South Sudan most of the times have been complaining of the things that they have been purchasing that side being impounded by URA at the border point. So I think there's need for really Uganda Revenue Authority, maybe if they can be able to harmonize the taxes, and then definitely that would also really greatly improve on the livelihoods of the people, because sometimes people go into smuggling because the goods that are very expensive this side are very cheap at that side, and you really wonder something that is coming from Uganda heading into DRC and then coming back is less costly than what we are really selling here. Sometimes you see the cooking oil that these boys are really engaging in comes from Uganda sometimes, and it finds itself in DRC, but now there it is a bit cheaper, and here it is more expensive. Then you really wonder what is causing the price disparities. So I think there's need for all these governments to now harmonize the prices, and that is where, if the East African community would really be fully implemented, then definitely with the issue of the currency, where we are supposed to have a uniform currency, that definitely, to me, that would also really draw a solution to this issue of the price differences, which has been promoting smuggling, in my own opinion. So I think that is why we really need to encourage our people to desist from smuggling, because smuggling affects us all. Smuggling is a cancer that really costs the economy, and then definitely, if we are going to continue with smuggling, then definitely we shall not be able to really also see the development that we want. And really also, I think now if government also really starts giving off social services timely, then definitely people will see reason of paying taxes. If the roads are very clean, if the roads are very organized, if the health facilities have the drugs, let the schools have the teachers, let the schools perform, and then definitely maybe there people will be able to see a reason for them to pay the taxes. And really that is also my own opinion, and that is where I want to call upon each and everybody to really fulfill their obligations of paying taxes, because the issue of paying taxes is mandatory to every citizen, and really it is your obligations to really pay for this money. And really in terms of paying taxes, in terms of filing returns, it is the obligations of you as a person, because as a citizen, not even as a citizen, because everybody who is doing something in this country has the obligation of paying taxes. That is why foreigners who are dealing in this country are not excluded from paying taxes. Rather, everybody engaging in business is really, it's their mandate to really ensure that they pay taxes, and that is why we have been having issues between taxpayers and the tax collection body. And in terms of this is in terms of the Iran-Uganda the Uganda Post Defense Forces attached to this body, who have been using a lot of force, and now Uganda Revenue Authority has to draw that is proper means. And now yesterday, the commission also did call upon the people of this sub-region to really desist from cases of attacking these UPDF officers, because sometimes these people do not intend to shoot, but rather they are running for their lives, something that really also greatly impacts on their lives. So I think that is why people need to really enforce. Before enforcement, I believe now Uganda Revenue Authority, what they are doing, so many people also did raise questions about this. They were saying, let this not only be a case of public relations, but rather let it be in good faith. And really, I believe also this was in good faith, because for Uganda Revenue Authority to enforce, they rather first of all educate, then they really engage, and then they enforce later on, which is the 3 steps of the ease, which to me, if they are fully implemented, then definitely cases of people indulging in smuggling, cases of people violating paying taxes, cases of people really attacking the officers will not be there, because people will know it is the obligation of paying these taxes. And then they would not really also want to use excessive force when it comes to paying taxes. And then definitely that also will be able to have a negative, not a positive impact in terms of people paying taxes, in terms of also filing returns, because some people do not know what exactly to really do. That is why the issue of educating is very, very important. Because not that people of this region sometimes do not want to pay the taxes, but rather they lack the knowledge of paying taxes. Really, if you ask people about the number plates, most of them do not have issues, maybe do not have that is knowledge in terms of acquiring these number plates, in terms of really acquiring the other necessary documents. They just purchase the motorcycles on the streets, and that is where the challenge is. So I think what the Uganda Revenue Authority is doing is quite well. And then definitely, if that is the case, then definitely this meeting will be able to also yield fruits. As I said earlier on, the team yesterday was in Koboko. After the meeting in Arua City, they did that progress to that is Koboko with the community baraza, where they did talk to the locals. And today we are expecting them to move to Madiokolo, where it is going to be in Okolo town. With that, really, let's first run in for a short commercial break, and when we return back, we shall be able to pick up with the conversation from them. My name is Farish Majid. It's still the Kokoliriko live show, and I must say the weather is so chilly with some bit of drizzles in Arua City, and where we are in Anyafio, it's as if it's going to rain, but now we are still witnessing the drizzles, and I don't know how it is in the other parts of the world. You can also really let us know, because as if rains are back, but people are still engaging in bricklaying, and that means for those who are still engaging in this activity, you need to really speed up, otherwise the rains may catch up with you, because really we do not expect rains at this time. We're expecting still the dry season, but now the rains are back, and that is really an indication that the climate change is real. And with that, let's first run for a short commercial break, and when we return back, we shall be able to pick up with the conversation. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
AFCON, all 52 games live only on Star Times. Star Times brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023 live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13th, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana, lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your StarTimes subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. StarTimes, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back from that short commercial break. We are still continuing with the Kokoliriko live on West Nile TV channel 0073 on Zuku and also online where you're streaming us from. And I must say it's a great pleasure starting off your day with us. And really, I also want to thank you so much for joining us. In case you are just joining us right now, in the first quarter, we did discuss issues ranging from that is Uganda Revenue Authority meeting, that is the various stakeholders, where we did see them meeting with the leaders in Arua City, and they also did head into the meeting that is the community in Koboko, and this is in relation to the relationship that has been between, that has not been fair enough, that is within the Uganda Revenue Authority and the stakeholders who are the taxpayers, where we did see them also talking about these issues where they have been having chaos and wrangles in terms of the enforcement, and really also people not complying to paying taxes, where we did see them having this meeting. And this meeting that also did draw the top leadership led by the Commissioner General John R. Musinguzi. Also, we did have the Minister for Finance, Economic Planning and Monitoring, in charge of general duties, Henry Musasi, also attending this meeting. But I must also inform you that when this meeting was going on, the tobacco farmers in West Nile sub-region who are demanding for 9.7 billion from the Ugandan government did storm that is Desert Breeze Hotel, also demanding for answers from the minister as to why their money was not paid. And really these farmers who have been over time demanding for this monies right from 2018 are now seeking for answers after supplying that is the produce to that is Continental Tobacco Limited now, which is defunct. I do understand the company has now closed, but the government did promise this for that they were going to get their monies, the total of more than 500 people, and these are the beneficiaries from all parts of West Nile who did supply this. And after really filing all their pleas by the government, we do understand the president cleared this, but after really up to now, these people have not received their monies. And now these people are saying, if Bunyoro is paid, because farmers in Bunyoro were really paid, and for these farmers who are in this sub-region haven't been paid up to date, and that is why they have been raising concerns. That is why they have been raising questions as to why their monies haven't been paid up to now, despite all their several efforts to see to it that they get their monies. And I must say this was demanded for answers from the minister and stormed the gate. They were allowed to enter, and I want to commend the police and the UPDF for really acting professionally. They did stop this from entering. Otherwise, we would see them being tear gassed. But really, where we did see the security team acting professionally, that is how we expect them to always act. Because for these people who are disgruntled, you really have your mandate to really demonstrate. Demonstration is part of the, it's acceptable within the law. If you really feel that you're not content with something that is going on, you have the right to really demonstrate. You have the right to petition. And these people did already make their petitions, and what they did want yesterday was only answers as to where and when they will be able to get their monies, because they have said after several of their efforts which have yielded no fruits, they have been always promised they will be able to get their monies over time. They will get the monies, and these farmers, most of them actually are now going through hell, and this is information we did get from them that they are really going through a lot. Because some of these monies, they did borrow them in terms of really making sure that they engage in this tobacco business, which they best know. Most of them are actually now calling for companies to really come to their rescue, because tobacco was really purchased to them at fair prices, and that is why they are finding it very much difficult to now move into other crops, because for them they knew their lives entirely depended on that is tobacco, and that is why they are finding it very, very difficult. But I must say, in the meeting with the various leaders, where we did have our MPs from West Nile sub-region sitting together with the minister and also really give this for time, because we did have our meeting after the meeting of the Uganda Revenue Authority. I must say, these people requested to meet the minister, and the minister actually had to open doors for them and to enter where the meeting with the Uganda Revenue Authority was taking place, and also give them the listening ear to also really see to it that their pleas are addressed. And now the minister did promise them that they will be able to really get their monies in the next financial year, which is coming up, and that is where their money is going to be paid. And these farmers now actually left when they were really demanding when they want to see their monies. And now they're following. They actually say they're going to put their members of parliament and their various leaders to task, because they are blaming their leaders. Most of them are blaming the leaders. They are blaming the ministers. That is the Minister of Finance, Matia Kasaija. They also did blame, that is the Prime Minister and the rest of the leaders for not paying their monies, because they are saying this issue seems very much tribalistic. But really, I must say, it is not that. And really, they are asking for if the government could actually pay their monies through supplementaries, where the minister did say that they were at a time where really we are about 4 months into the next financial year, which is really very, very much difficult for government to really, that is, ensure borrowing money right now, because the next financial year, I do understand, will be able to commence, that is in June. So there's no way government can really borrow monies right now, but what government is currently undertaking is ensuring that it is clearing other debts and other priorities. But now for their monies, it will be able to come in the next financial year. But if we can really also get what the chairperson of this association is saying, that definitely would also really maybe have a feeling as to how these people are feeling, and maybe how that is greatly impacting on their lives. If the producer really, Mr. Boniface, could actually really also play for you maybe what these farmers were saying, that is by their leadership, and then definitely we shall be able to really bounce back with the conversion. But remember, you can also feel free and share your opinions and share your ideas how best these people can actually now get their monies, and really what should government do to help these people. That is also maybe how you can also really greatly engage with us and really share your opinions of how these tobacco farmers, remember these tobacco farmers mostly from these 13 local governments of West Nile, most of them are coming from Terego, from Maracha, Madiokolo, and the rest of the parts, and this is where they are actually demanding for their monies to see that they get the money. But if the producer really can also first play what the chairman is saying, then we shall be able to bounce back with that.
I'm called Adia Christopher, the chairman, West Nile Cooperative Union. We have been partnering with the Continental Company, that is particular for tobacco. In 2018 and stroke 19, we sold the tobacco to Continental, amounting to 12 billion. Out of 12 billion, company paid around 2.4. Then the balance remained 7.7, 9.708. From that time, company disappeared. Then after knowing that company has disappeared, we came to engage our government under the leadership of His Excellency, the President. We know he's a president who can listen to people of voiceless. And then after engaging the government, immediately government intervened. First of all, they called the company to ask whether they bought the tobacco or they didn't pay it. The company agreed about the same figure. Then from there, government decided to pay. It was on 2020, Minister of Finance sent a team from its office to come and to do verification, of which the verification was done from September to November of 2020. We asked them about when they are going to pay the money. They assured us that the money will be given in the same year, which is 2020. So from there, we waited. Suddenly we came to know that 2021, we were not alone as the West Niles. Bunyoro region was also affected. But we are the first people to start to engage the government. Then from there, the government decided to pay Bunyoro, leaving us here. From there, I began to follow. The first thing was, it was on 9th September 2022, Minister of Finance wrote official letter that our money will be budgeted in financial year of 2023 and 2024. Then after there, we came to know it was not budgeted. Then from there, I keep on engaging. In last year, 10th April, I wrote a petition to His Excellency, the President. Then reaching to, on 29th June 2023, President responded about my petition. He wrote a letter to Minister of Finance and Trade to permit them to pay our money. From there, I waited. I think the money will be budgeted.
Wow, I think you can be able to so really listen to what they are saying. You can also read the messages, what they were able to really share, and that is the pleas of the people who were involved in the production of this tobacco. And after supplying this, and now you hear the company has closed, definitely it also puts you in fear, because that is where they are saying they were able to get their monies from, and definitely they will be able to so really continue seeking for these monies. And remember, the leadership keeps on changing here and there, and I must say that is a new leadership, and they were able to so really complain of how people want to get 10% from their monies, and really somebody is struggling to see to it that he or she gets something small to take care of their families, and you also want the 10% where you didn't even engage, that is in active production, but you really want to benefit. Definitely that is where we are getting challenges with the world. I don't know what is happening, but I must say the group is now threatening their next stopover will be Parliament. I don't know how they will be able to do that, and yesterday they expected for answers from their MPs, but I must say, if the MPs maybe did not explain very well, they were threatening to move with the MPs in their vehicles, and each person from their constituency was going to board onto their Member of Parliament's vehicle, because the Members of Parliament were actually heading back, that is to Kampala, for parliamentary sitting today, and they did promise themselves that they were able to really, they were going to move with their MPs, and the MPs had to take them to Kampala, to Parliament. But I believe after explanation from the minister, they were able to understand. The minister requested them to leave, and that is how they left the place. And I think they were very much satisfied. Definitely, that is one reason they could have left. That is Desert Breeze Hotel, and they left. I must say they left very satisfied. What the leaders now have to do is ensuring that they follow up this money until they get it back, because these issues of the money has over been there since this. I don't know when we have always had complaints about the tobacco farmers' money, which hasn't been paid, because really some regions have already been paid, but now West Nile, this is where they're saying it is, the issue looks very much tribalistic, and the issue is looking very much discriminative. They do not know why their money cannot be paid to them, despite all their several efforts. There are several pleas to see to that they really get the right criteria to see to that they get their money, because these people have moved offices. They really petitioned the speaker, they moved to the president, they moved to Minister of Finance. They have all the paperwork, but now what is the reason? And yesterday, from the explanation of maybe of the minister, we are expecting that is them to get their money very soon, because the minister asked for them to remain calm as they are working towards getting their money. The money is at 9.7 billion. Remember, this money was more than that. Government actually had paid some money, some bit of it, and now what is remaining is 9.7 billion, which these people totaling to more than 1,500 will be able to really get their money, because some of them said they actually lost property in terms of loans. I was able to interact with the farmers. Most of them said this money that they used, that is for planting this crop, was actually from loans, and now loans also with their negative repercussions and charges of interest also did come into really, that is take over their properties, which to them was quite very difficult, and they could not able to really continue with that, and that is where they are facing challenges. And I must say that also is negatively impacting on their lives, and really that is what we expect them to do, and really also we expect these people to get justice. I don't know when that is where they should also really be able to also move and really also get something small for themselves. And then definitely that would also really be something good. And now moving away from that, NRM Day celebration turns into battleground of words. I don't know why political gatherings right now are having problems where each leader, I don't know why they become very much verbose. People start exchanging words here and there. We see this because even in Arua City, this is one challenge where the lower leaders at times also pin the top leadership of them really being let down by, in terms of service delivery. And I must say, this is something that we're witnessing. Could it be that politics is around the corner? That is definitely something I don't know, because I'm not a politician, and I don't think if any time from now I can be able to join politics, but I'm still following on this, because really politics, without politics, I must say you cannot live, because the world today very much depends around politics. We are seeing politics at all in all sectors. That is the one reason I must also really say I don't know why that is the case. But now the 38th National Resistance Movement anniversary celebration, which was held in Vura Sub-County, Vura constituency in Arua District on Friday, 9th of February, turned into a ground of war of words, and this is Cold War. Is it Cold War now? Really, that is something I must say was taking place. And now the National Resistance Movement Day, that is really when the President, which is celebrated in honor of President Museveni, is taking of power. That was on 26th of January 2026. Remember, I did talk about this yesterday. Arua District had to commemorate this day after the national celebrations, for reasons I did not know. The LC3 chairperson for Vura Sub-County that hosted the event, Honorable Pario Joel castigated the MPs for poor service delivery in the district. Honorable Pario also blamed the district officials for frustrating his efforts to bring that Secretary General for NRM, that is right, Honorable Richard Todong, to come as the guest of honor for the celebration, so that their cries can be taken to the NRM party chairman, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. As he said, MPs in the district have failed to perform their lobbying role. Yes, this is something that we're talking about. How do the MPs, it doesn't mean that the people who were elected are sitting dormant in the offices, are they not performing their roles the best? But these are the leaders that you elected, and that is definitely something I must say. If you elect somebody who does not really go and represent your cries in Parliament, in the floor of Parliament, and address your problems, it is because maybe the kind of leader that you elected. But really, if the lower leaders really start that is attacking the top leadership, what does this mean? Definitely, this would also really have negative implications in terms of them working together, because I believe these leaders of the various levels have to work together, not only in Arua District, and this is all over the country. The lower leaders have to work together with the top leaders, because sometimes the concerns of the lower local persons are best known by the lower leaders. It is them to actually front these issues to the top leadership, and that is why I must say, if that is not the case, then definitely people will be able to have issues here and there when it comes to really some scenarios, and then the relationship definitely would go sour, and which would also really have negative repercussions in terms of service delivery, because if the leaders fail to now start sitting together, and then definitely service delivery is going to be hampered, and then people will not be able to, the beneficiaries of the service delivery will not be able to also really get something that they will be able to talk about. Because if you look at the lobbying role, all the leaders have the role to really ensure that they have play towards it, because the issue of lobbying does not only lie in the hand of one person. Now, the NRM Vice Chairman for our district, Mr. Leon Boniface, said the enemy at hand is now corruption. And yes, if the leaders, instead of pinning each other here and there, to me, really engage in the fight against corruption, which has over time been eating the economy slowly, is addressed, then definitely cases of people really involved in cases of corruption, cases of people really involved in these issues of attacking each other here and there would not be there, because people will be focused, that is on service delivery. So I think that is something that people need to do in terms of ensuring that they really desist from issues of attacking each other, because really to me that is not the best thing, because it is going to affect the relationship between these leaders, and once that is going to affect them, it is also going to divide the party members, because some of them subscribe to their individuals. Because really, if you look at the voters, 2026 is not very far. Some of these, if you start attacking each other, because some of these people have their following, the MPs could have their following, the councillors will also really have their own following. So that is something that is also going to affect them, and that would also, to me, cost the party, because if the people are divided, then they will be able to vote for their opponents. That would also really greatly impact on the elections. Now, the mayor of Arua City, Honorable Wadrisam Nyakwa, who joined the people of Arua District in celebrating this ceremony, advised them not to fight among themselves, because it is still a young district. He also advised them to embark on developmental activities in order to alleviate hunger and poverty in their homes. Yes, this is what we expect. We expect people to reunite. We expect you to reunite in terms of joining hands together, so that at the end of the day, definitely that would also really greatly improve on the service delivery we are talking about, and then to also improve drastically in terms of increasing on people's livelihoods, because we are talking about the PDM. Right now, the government is talking about socio-economic transformation, which is the goal of the NRM, which is the number one goal of the NRM government at the moment, in terms of ensuring that the people really move away from the poverty line that we have been talking about over time, so that they can also really get something small for themselves, something that they can earn from, and that is what the NRM government has been fronting, and that is definitely something I must say is the way to go. And really, I want to also laud the Arua City Mayor for that kind of words, and really in terms of ensuring that this happens, because really, if the leaders continue exhibiting words and utterances here and there, that would also really greatly, to me, is going to impact on the people that they lead, because the people will be divided amongst themselves, because some may not be able to accept what the leaders are saying. Others may jubilate, and then definitely that would also really not be quite good there. The guest of honor of the function, Honorable Paparo Lilian, who also doubles as the woman member of parliament for our district, advised politicians in the district that is not to intimidate each other. She thanked the civil servants like the police and the UPDF for serving diligently in the country, and then definitely that is something that we also talking about, because all this security that we're talking about, without the support of the security agencies, definitely that may not be able to so really greatly improve on the service delivery, because it's also going to affect people. And now the celebration, whose venue was at Arua Primary School in Arua District, was attended by security operatives, the business community, politicians from Congo and Uganda, and various stakeholders. And that is how the celebration did go on. That is the Arua District, and we are still following up on. Remember, 2026 is not very far. We are already in 2024, and that tells us that people are already actively engaging in politics. And that is also not excluding, that is Dokolo, where we are going to be having any time from now the electoral process coming in, and AEC has already communicated something. Definitely we shall be able to also really tell you how the preparations are going on. That is Dokolo for the replacement of the fallen woman member of parliament, that is Cecilia Ogwal, so where we are seeing so many candidates being fronted now. Amongst the candidates is actually the daughter, and with that we shall be able to really also tell you what is happening that side of Dokolo in the next hour of the show. For now, let me first run for a short commercial break, and when I return back, we shall be able to pick up with the conversation from there. Thank you so much.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
AFCON, all 52 games live only on Star Times. Star Times brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023, live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your Star Times subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. Star Times, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back from that short commercial break. We are into the second hour of the show. We are just a minute after 8 a.m. and you're most welcome from wherever you're watching us. And I must say it's a great pleasure to really also be part of the #1 show that comes your ways every Mondays to Fridays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. And remember, in the first hour, we did discuss so many pertinent issues here and there. Now we want to really move away to Dokolo, where the Electoral Commission had calls for calm ahead of that is the Dokolo Women in Parliament by-elections, where we did see so many candidates being fronted, and among these candidates is actually that is the daughter to that is Honorable the late Cecilia Ogwal, who is coming under the Forum for Democratic Change party ticket. And remember, the other parties have also fronted candidates. The UPC is having a candidate. We also do have the National Unity Platform also fronting a candidate, and not forgetting the ruling government of the NRM also really fronting candidate to sit with that they really take over. That is the position of that position. And remember, Cecilia Ogwal was affiliated to that is the Forum for Democratic Change at the time of her death. And remember, she did cross in that is from the UPC to really be part of FDC. And still, she was one of those stronghold opposition members. So I think we are still following up on that issue. Now, the Electoral Commission, upon being sworn in recently, has now taken over to really also sit with that. They are going to organize the elections of that area. And remember, these candidates have already started embarking on that is the consultative meetings here and there. Among these candidates, who is actually doing consultations right from the grassroots levels is the daughter to this fallen member of the parliament, who is actually seeking to replace the mother. And this is where she was fronted by the family members to also be the candidate who would really replace the mother. We're not seeing this for the first time. I don't know why, and I don't know why and how this case should be. And that is why also I ask myself questions. People are now fronting family members to sit with that. When somebody dies, they replaced them with the family members, and the family members have now taken it over as that. And really, where is this going to put the country at? And really, that is something I do not know, and we are yet following up on that, and we do not know how it will end. The Electoral Commission has urged the citizens to embrace the cooperation, peace, and unity in the forthcoming parliamentary and local government councils by-elections. That in Dokolo district, and the district woman representative for Dokolo City fell vacant following the death of that is Honorable Cecilia Ogwal recently. That was on the 18th of January 2024. And now, according to the electoral body, has released the program for the by-elections of the district woman representative to parliament and councillors on various local government seats in the district, which are also vacant. On Monday, EC Chairperson Justice Simon Mugenyi Biabakama visited that is Dokolo district ahead of March 21st exercise to engage with the stakeholders and advocate for peace during the election period. So I think this is something that we are also going to follow up on. And the EC further noted that the commission had received communication that is from the district leadership that there were also vacancies at the local government council levels. So other people are really showing interest, and now other positions that also really fell vacant include the Bata sub-county councillor representing older persons. The one who was there passed away. The third position to be filled is the Bata sub-county male councillor. This position became vacant after the councillor was elected in 2021, resigned from the position. So I think this is where also they are going to be having elections, maybe also part of these by-elections. Now the by-elections program will commence with an update of the National Voters Register from February 12th of that is 15th of December 2024, and an update in each that is the 71 parishes in the district. So the commission has appointed Thursday, February 15th as the cutoff date for applying for registration as a voter and transfer, or that is of voting location in the area. Yes, if you really want to be part of this election, in case you're coming from these areas now, you have to ensure that you are part of this exercise that is going to be there to validate and update the voting exercise before that is the 15th of February, which is really some few days, because today is the 13th, and tomorrow will be able to be the 14th. So there is need for the people to hurry and also ensure that their exercise in terms of where they want to vote from also updated. So the registration and transfer of voters from one polling station to another within Dokolo will not take place after 15th of February according to the roadmap. The display of the voters register will be conducted for a period of 10 days and this is from February 21st to March 21st of, that is 1st of March, at all the 173 polling stations in Dokolo. The display of that is the parish tribunal recommendations for that is the display for of the voters register will be conducted for a period of 10 days, and that is where it is going to be for all the 173 polling stations. Remember, all these will be able to sort of be part of where they are going to vote from, and we do not expect any form of violence. We do not expect any form of intimidation, but rather we expect the exercise to be transparent and free and fair enough. So the display of the parish tribunal recommendations for delegations from inclusion of the registrar will be conducted for 6 days, that is from March 1st to 6th of 2024 at the respective parishes and ward headquarters. So I think that is where they will be able to follow up on that. Definitely, if you want to be part of these elections, then definitely you have to ensure that you are among the voters, because you may want to appear at the last day and be as a voter, irrespective of where maybe your polling station is, after really also validating this. And then definitely you will be barred from this election, and you start raising complaints of people stopping you from taking part of these elections. Yet you have the time right now to ensure that your names are validated and your IDs are very secure. So I think that is where we are also going to be following up on that issue until the last day, and we'll be able to tell you when the right time comes and who will be able to take up over that seat, because so many people have shown interest in that position, and we are still following up on, and we shall be able to also really let you know when the right time comes on who exactly will be voted by the people of the court to be their representative, because the mandate of really them voting is in their hands in terms of who they want to really be their leader. It is entirely their right. It is the constitutional mandate for them to really also vote for them. That is why these by-elections are organized, so that they have a representative that is in parliament. So, and really that is something we are still following up on. And polling and tallying of results for the by-elections of councillors representing special interest groups will take place, that is on March 18th to 2024, while the polling day for the district woman representative to parliament and other local government councillors will be conducted on Thursday, March 21st, 2024. And that is according to the guidelines really that was issued by the EC. And now we are following up on and really also be able to let you know where and how these elections will be able to go on. And remember, by-elections in most cases come with really violence. We have seen violence. If you remember the 2018 by-election in Arua, you will be able to really remember how violently the exercise was. So we are really following up on that till the last day. We shall be able to really let you know when the right time comes. And that is why also, if you are part and you really want to know maybe what is happening in Dokolo, you always have to follow, that is the Western Kokoliriko updates, and that is where we shall be able to sort of let you know maybe what is transpiring that side, and then definitely it will be able to sort of have an impact on you as an individual. And now moving away from that, Uganda Democratic Republic of Congo exchange fishermen arrested over encroachment, and this is a good move because we have seen over time on our water bodies, the UPDF officers, the other security agencies, the marine team, also really trying to really also arrest people here and there, because sometimes this becomes a prisoner all the way from just from being arrested on the water bodies, and where we have also seen sometimes people who are trying to flee, really these officers sometimes also losing their lives. We have had cases of really some of these people trying to flee and then throw themselves in the water, thinking that they can really swim and avoid being arrested by these officers, where we have also seen a number of these people really losing their lives. And that definitely tells us how dangerous the exercise is, and there's need for harmony to really be exercised between the two countries in terms of ensuring maybe a smooth operations on these water bodies. And then definitely that would also really also improve on the livelihoods of the people, because these are people of Africa. We are all Africans. If we have means maybe to see to that we work together, then definitely that would also really greatly improve on the people's livelihoods. And now the Uganda Post Defense Forces Fisheries Protection Unit has released 14 Congolese nationals who were under custody after being apprehended from various water points on the Ugandan side of, that is Lake Edward, and that is where something also we did see. That is quite good, because 14 these families have been, whose families have been entirely depending on them, have been suffering. Now it is time for them to go back. And in terms of this, and that is where we also need to expect them not to come back on these water bodies. And if maybe they remain on their sides, which at times also really is very, very difficult for them to go on, and then definitely that would also really not be quite good. In reciprocal, also in turn, 4 Ugandan nationals that who had been arrested by DR Congo security for encroaching on DR water bodies on Lake Edward We are also released. The handover ceremony took place at Katue Kabatoro, that is Town Council in Kasese District, on Friday, and the FPU also returned several fishing gear, including 68 boat engines, 7 boats, and 67 fuel tanks. On the other hand, the Congolese authorities released 16 boat engines, 5 boats, and 10 fuel tanks that had been seized from the Ugandan fishermen. So I think that is where it is quite good. Now we expect the security teams also maybe to hand over this property that has been released to the necessary people, and then the individuals who had been apprehended for this, and maybe that would also really assure and act for them as warnings, and they will be able to really also go back to their country and really also act professionally in terms of undertaking these activities. And then we shall be able to maybe see them in the long run avoiding cases of crossing unnecessarily into the other countries. Remember, crossing into another country crossing without permission is illegal, and you can also be arrested for it, and that is why they had been arrested. And really, that is where anything I must also say has been really, people have been taking advantage of the water bodies. Even if you look at these who are crossing to Europe, at times these people really, I watch stories of people from West Africa, really more so these ones who want to really find themselves in Europe illegally, use these water bodies. But I must tell you, it is quite risky, because sometimes we see cases of these boats capsizing. We see these cases of these people being shot. I don't know by who, maybe by some people, terrorists. But really, I must say, it is quite sad, because really water bodies. Me, I have natural phobia for water. I'm somebody who does not really fancy water. I don't even admire going to water bodies, because really water bodies are not something that I best know. That is why I'll never be able to really go and start fishing. And really, if I move to water bodies, mostly I remain on the shores, because me, I do not know how to swim. And me, secondly, I fear water bodies, because really, if you move to where these water bodies are, just move to River Nile, you will see how the water is flowing and how the size of the water bodies are. And really, you find somebody swimming. Definitely, I must say, me, I'm not part. I do not know how to swim. Even swimming pool, I do not know. But I must say, what the security agencies did was quite commendable, and we do appreciate both the UPDF and the other security agencies from the DRC for ensuring that this happens, because in most cases these are the same people, and maybe they were just separated by the borders. Look at what is happening in Road District. Sometimes you find Congolese freely crossing into Uganda, and you find Ugandans also really freely crossing into that is the Democratic Republic of Congo, and nobody has to stop them, because really you find that somebody is doing farming in the part of DRC but lives in Uganda. Just the borders have separated them, and where on water bodies there are no boundaries, people find it now very easier to cross over to the other water bodies. That is why we are seeing challenges, maybe in terms of them also having challenges here and there, and really that is also an issue of concern. And then maybe if you feel maybe how government could act, then definitely you should be able to sort of share your comments with that. And remember, Lieutenant Laban Ndifula, the FPU spokesperson, highlighted that this gesture aims at strengthening the good relations between the two countries. He emphasized the importance of citizens from both nations adhering to the law to maintain a harmonious relationship. And that is something I did say earlier on. For us to have the good relationship, because we and the Democratic Republic of Congo, we are just neighbors. We are not very far, and we have so many things in common. And we have so many scenarios, we have so many similarities, we have so many people who really move here and there. And really, if there's harmony, and then if the people who are doing this trade maybe abide by certain laws, and then definitely that would also really greatly improve on that is the good relationship that we have, which we are talking about. Because if people do not exercise good relationship among themselves, and then definitely that would also really greatly impact on the livelihoods of the countries, and then definitely we shall not be able to trade amongst ourselves, because we have to trade amongst ourselves as nations. And then definitely that is also really going to drastically improve on the relationship among these people. So I think that is a good job done, and really appreciate the leaders for that. And Kasese Resident District Commissioner Lieutenant Joe Walusimbi highlighted that the release of the Congolese nationals followed a directive from the president to ensure that bilateral relations between Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo remain intact. Remember, East African community is one thing that we are priding in and we are looking forward to, and then definitely that is something that we are yet following up on, and we must also appreciate the leaders for ensuring that this is a reality. Because if people are not really sensitized about certain laws, because despite us joining that East African community, maybe us becoming as one bloc, we shall be able to really have our laws also governing us. We shall be able to have the constitutions remain intact, because really this will be able to really govern us, and that is where somebody who is maybe coming from the other parts of the world would not be able to really break certain laws here. And remember, our laws really also condemn, that is, people dealing in immature fish, and that is why sometimes these immature fish are being impounded. Remember recently where we did see so many operations against immature fish going on in the whole country, and the Rural City recently also really, we did see the fishermen from this trade, and most of the fishmongers, did also really have their trucks released. And in other places, more so Kanungu, where we did also see the same exercise taking place, and we did see regretted instances where the fish also was burnt in some places. I must say that was really quite not good, because we have to really ensure that we desist from cases of really people dealing and trading in this immature fish, which is not quite good, because this may put the rest of the fish species into extinction, a risk which we shall not be able to take, because really imagine living without fish and depending entirely on fish that is raised on the ponds, which to me is not quite good, because sometimes the fish that is coming from these natural water bodies and this natural that is naturally also raised is more delicious than what at times we consume from what we get from this pond. So I think that is something that we are still following up on, and I must appreciate the leaders for ensuring that this is a reality. And Mr. Stephen Katesigwa, the coordinator for fishermen at Lake Edward, George and Kazinga Channel, raised concerns about the persistent arrests of fishermen from both Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo, noting the detrimental impact on their business activities due to prolonged boat confiscations. And definitely that is something I did also talk about. Really, it is going to greatly impact on negatively. That is also on these people whose lives are definitely going to be affected, because these fishermen sometimes they definitely also rely on, that is the fish trade, and that is the business that they best know, and that is how they have been really engaging on that business. So I think that is why we need to also really have means, and in terms of ensuring that this does not happen, then definitely that would also really greatly impact on the livelihoods of the people, because this constant arrest of this gear has pushed many people away from this business. I do have people who are dealing in this fishing in Entebbe on Lake Victoria. Now we have seen them moving away, and they are saying for them they cannot continue fishing now. This has actually rendered most of them jobless. So I think in terms of really maybe pushing this away from dealing in this immature fish, if the government could actually also really come up with other measures to ensure that these people also talk about that is issues of themselves not engaging in, that is what you're talking about, immature fish, and then definitely that would also greatly improve on what we're talking about, and that would also greatly, to me, also improve on the relationship between these two countries. At the end of the day, what we expect is harmony, because for these people to peacefully coexist, and then definitely that is something that we are talking about. And moving away from that, refugees call for increased education funding, and that is also one thing that we are not living about, because we have the refugees more so in Western Sub-region. And remember recently we did have a meeting of, that is the various stakeholders from the Western Sub-region taking place here in Arua City, and that is to discuss issues about the refugees. And remember, the refugees still continue that is having issues in relation to their issues, and that issues that range from the issues that range from poor housing accommodation, also the poor livelihoods, and that is where they have been raising challenges, and school is actually one factor that has not been left behind, and that is why also they have been facing challenges here and there to see to it that they have their voices heard. And as the debate over school fees continues to reverberate, parents residing in refugee settlements are calling for increased funding for the education sector, highlighting the crucial role of education in the lives of their children. Against this backdrop, humanitarian agencies like the Norwegian Refugee Council are ramping up efforts to ensure the retention of the learners in school. And remember, these learners really who move from these camps, if you really look at what is happening in Western Sub-region here, we have camps, that is we have 4 districts actually who are recognized as the refugee hosting districts. If you look at districts that is like Madiokolo, you have Arua district, you have Koboko, and not forgetting Terego. These are actually districts that are recognized as the refugee hosting districts. And so many of these 13 local governments of West Nile who are not recognized as the refugee hosting districts have over time raised these complaints that we are having refugees in our districts, and really when it comes to resource allocations for these districts, in terms of also giving them the necessary support, they are excluded, and yet the refugees live all over. And if you really look at these refugees, some of them prefer living in the urban areas, and of which sometimes they're not really, these areas are not recognized, and they have to really continue also sharing the resources. When it comes to school, I want to emphasize on school, which is where you also see them coming to really these schools, and the schools also have to accommodate them, and then definitely that is why sometimes you see it resulting in terms of over-exchanging of these learners. And then definitely you see people really also raising complaints here and there, which to me is not quite good. So these people calling for, that is in terms of them calling for resource increase, is actually quite good, and we expect them to really now to also really find themselves something to do. And if government is actually ready to also support these refugees, definitely that would also really greatly improve on their livelihoods. And now moving away from that, Nebi Anglican Diocese on Sunday, 11th of February 2024, received 10 new canons from different churches under their diocese who helped to coordinate, that is, the pastoral works of the bishop. And while installing the canons, the Bishop of Mahdi and West Nile Diocese, Right Reverend Collins Charles Andaku, urged the new canons to build strong relationship with Christians so that their call to serve God is manifested in doing the good work. So the bishop further appealed to the newly ordained canons to live an exemplary life to impress other Christians by their actions. Yes, this is something that we're talking about. The clergy play a great role that in society. If you are, as really a member of the clergy, is not really respecting yourself, then definitely the sheep that you want to lead may not also be able to respect you, and then definitely that is also going to drastically impact on the livelihoods of the people that really subscribe to your religion, and then definitely that would also really push them away. Because as the clergy, I don't want to really limit this to the Christian faith. Even the Muslims and other religions, maybe the other religious denominations, you as the religious leader, you have to live by example, because if you do not really live by example, then definitely people who follow you, the people who believe in you, will be able to so really act in a way that is also going to undermine the church or undermine the mosque. So I think this is where I want to call upon each and everybody to ensure that really they desist from certain tendencies, because as a religious leader, you really need to have, that is the clue, in terms of also really guiding yourself, in terms of also really acting professionally. We do not expect you as the religious leader to engage in certain things. For us, this immorality, we do not expect you as the religious leader to be part of immorality, because really people look up to you, because really, if you really look at these religious leaders, I must tell you, if you are holy, if you're really somebody who is holy, in most cases you have the respect, and that is why you are really asked to ensure that you act in a way that is not going to undermine the credibility of the church. So I think this call made by the bishop was really something that I must also echo my voice on, and shouldn't only remain on the clergy, or more so these who have not newly been ordained. This should also extend to other religious denominations and the religious leaders from the other denominations, so that they can also really copy what is really happening with this faith. So I think in the meantime, the Bishop of Nebi Anglican Diocese, Right Reverend Pons Onzele Awinju, applauded the canons for accepting to serve God and appealed to them to create peace and unity among themselves. And Pons added that that it is under their mandate of provincial laws to appoint canons in the diocese. Yes, that is something that we are really talking about. So I think it is also the leaders really to ensure that they have peace to prevail in the areas that they're going to lead, because sometimes where people fail to really get justice, they rush very fast to the religious leaders, and they expect the leaders, most of the clergy, to really offer for them guidance, and that is where you religious leaders are also expected to act as counselors. Really look at what is happening in our society right now. Most of the societies are grappling with issues of witchcraft. They are really fighting issues of depression. People are really fighting cases of poverty. People are not well. So I think the leaders need to speed up. That is, their preaching in terms of all these lines that are affecting society. Because look at immorality, where people are involved very much in drug abuse, theft, and other cases. So I think it is also the role of these leaders to ensure that all this is talked about, because if they do not do that, then definitely people will be able to also really continue with the morality cases that we're talking about, and then definitely that would also really negatively impact on the livelihoods of the people. So I think it is good for these leaders who have been ordained to also really take up the mantle of where they're going, more so in areas where they're going to lead, to also ensure that they talk about these issues that affect society, more so in their preachings, that would also really greatly impact on the livelihoods of the people. So I think that is something that we are talking about. And now, however, the canons ordained include, that is Alfred Ogen Mungu, we have Canon Christopher Oyuti, we have Canon Alex Okoik, we have Hope Kutopatro, among others. Among the dignitaries who attended the action include, that is the Navy LC5, Orombe Manuel Vincent Okaba, Executive Director, that's of Rock Global Oils Uganda Limited. We do have also Dr. George Daga, Executive Director, that's Global Village Resort Pakwach, Martin Oroch, former Resident District Commissioner, that is former Resident City Commissioner, that's Waro City, and Mothers Union, among others. These were the dignitaries who attended this function. So we expect these leaders really to be part of also the government programs. Remember, all these religious leaders, you do not have to really remain in doing your pastoral work alone. I believe you are also to extend and in terms of doing your work, because really these clergy at times also really have their voices heard very much louder by the people that they lead. The sheep sometimes also prefer listening to the religious leaders more than the politicians. So I think they have to work together with the politicians. They have to work together with the technocrats in terms of ensuring success, maybe in terms of also these government projects that we're talking about, because sometimes they have the negative perception. So it is the religious leaders really to ensure that what they discuss, also what they talk about, reaches very fast. So I think that is where I want to call upon these newly ordained canons to ensure that they talk about these government projects. For instance, the PDM, the MIOGA that are in place, and really government is also really disbursing these monies to these lower and the vulnerable members of the community, who in most cases are the believers. So I think this is where the clergy has to work with that is the various stakeholders, because these people who are getting the monies, these vulnerable community members who have been given the money, are in most cases the part of the sheep, because they are the believers. In most cases, they are the ones that really go to God to pray. They also really want to pray to God for them, for God to also change their lives. And that is why I must say it is good for these leaders to work together with the various stakeholders in terms of also bringing success to these government projects. Because if that is not the case, the government efforts will be able to remain in vain. And this is where I want to call upon these leaders now to ensure that they work with the various stakeholders, they work with the politicians, they work with the technocrats, because if they work together, not together with them, and that is why I also want to call upon government leaders, more so these politicians or technocrats, to involve these religious leaders in certain in this type of maybe government programs, so that, such that at the end of the day, the message that will be able to be dispersed will reach far. Because as I said earlier on, in most cases, the church, or maybe the sheep that go to church, also maybe the believers that go to the mosques, in most cases very much listen to what the religious leaders are saying. So if the religious leaders, maybe during the Sunday sermons or maybe during the Friday sermons, have components about these government projects talked about, and then definitely that would also really have the voices reach very loudly. So I think that is where I want to call upon maybe government to involve certain of these religious leaders into some of these government projects. And definitely, if this religious leader is very much sensitized about what is happening maybe in the government projects, if they are educated about these government projects, at the end of the day, they will be able to sort of really extend their voices loudly. So I think that is where I want to call the government leaders, I want to call upon the various leaders to involve these leaders, and then definitely that would also really ensure these voices reach very far. Because in most cases, as I said, people have certain people that they believe in, because some people may choose to listen to the politicians, others may choose to listen to the clergy, others may choose to listen to any other kind of leader, because they have different people that they believe. And really with that, we are coming to another short commercial break, and when we return back, we shall be able to really continue with the conversation until 9 a.m. as we also pave way for, that is the Eolaza news team with Fete Emmanuel, who is already in place to also give you what is happening. But for now, let me first run in for a short commercial break, and when I return back, we shall be able to pick up with the conversation from there. Thank you so much.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
AFCON, all 52 games live only on Star Times. Star Times brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023 live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your Star Times subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. Star Times, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Alright, welcome back from the short commercial break, and we are still continuing with the morning updates on Kokoliriko live show on West Nile TV channel 0073 on Zuku. And for those of you also streaming us online, we very much do appreciate you for that. And we want to say it's always good for you to be part of West Nile TV, and that is where we shall be able to really let you know of what is happening on the various media outlets. And now one of the stories that we're having here, grasshoppers land youth into trouble. And really what we are seeing is, I don't know why the grasshoppers period is really very much mad by issues of theft and then other cases, because this is where we see so many criminal activities being registered, ranging from rape. We also do have defilement cases very much high during this period, and not forgetting theft, because in most cases this period, really, if you remember, if for those who know, even not only here in Arua City, and now we do understand that in central Uganda also this is the same case, where we're seeing this period very much also characterized by criminality. And now we are seeing also this happening in Masaka, where, according to prosecution, Kiza and others still at large allegedly attacked Senyonjo, a truck driver from Kafunjo in Bafunda Division, Ibanda Municipality on November 23rd of 2023, while at his Selenese catch area, that's at Chiba and Katongera Trading Center. And Emmanuel Kiza asks pointed questions as he tries to convince court he had nothing to do with, that is, the reported assault and subsequent theft of Jamil Senyonjo's grasshoppers and shillings 500,000. And now we are seeing that Kiza challenged this accuser during that cross-examination of prosecution witness to bring, that is, concrete evidence placing him at the scene of crime. He urged the Ibana Grade 1 magistrate court to not only rely on verbal evidence, claiming it was not substantial. And now, according to prosecution, Kiza and others still at large allegedly attacked Senyonjo, a truck driver from Kafunjo and Mifunda and the division that is in Ibanda municipality on November of 23rd of 2023, while at his Serene Catch area, that is in Chiba and at Carbonera Trading Center. The suspects allegedly stole his car keys and shillings 500,000 cash and 2 sacks of grasshoppers worth Ugandan shillings 700,000. So this is where we're talking about. And really, theft of grasshoppers has always been a great challenge. I don't know why, because maybe it is because of the demand. Because really, if you remember what was happening here, you will be able to see the demand of this grasshopper was very much high, and so many people who had really erected these iron sheets and then the electric lights also complaining of thieves, and this was making people really not to sleep. People had to move the whole night and really ensure that they protect their property. And really, this is something I'm also saying. The grasshopper period is one that maybe is having so many challenges. And now we are seeing also this changing, and where we didn't see most of those people who had put up the structures did not really yield very much when it comes to Arua City here. But then the next years, we expect them also to put the same. And we expect the grasshoppers to come, and then definitely they will also get something small for themselves. And now the suspect told court that he was able to identify Kiza, thanks for that. And now, when asked by her worship Esther Murunji why on none of the Senyo his workers came to his rescue, Senyonjo explained that although he made an alarm, no one heard, and there were lots of people making noise as they chased after the grasshoppers. And he told the court that he was able to identify Kiza thanks for the light from the high voltage bulbs used to trap the grasshoppers. He added that he had hitherto seen him in the trading center, and this is where he was able to identify the suspect that we are talking about, who was actually the prime suspect in terms of stealing this grasshopper. And now we are talking about these grasshopper thieves. Really, you are just going to be pinpointed for grasshoppers. What do you really, also what will you tell people, that you are going to serve prison just for grasshopper? Really, that is something I must say is quite dangerous. And Senyonjo prayed to compel the suspect to compensate him for the lost property and refund the shillings 500,000 if found guilty. And the magistrate further adjourned the case until that is February 2026, when the hearing of more prosecution witness will come. So I think that is something that we are looking up also here. And I also want to call upon people to desist from certain tendencies of this grasshopper period, because this period usually is where we are seeing a lot of criminality. And remember, these lights, by the way, of high voltage are very dangerous for the eyes, and this is why people need to move away from these cases of going for these lights, where we're also seeing sometimes our daughters claim that they are going for grasshoppers, yet they are going for other things really within this period. And that is why I want to call upon them to desist from these tendencies, and then definitely that would also really greatly impact on their livelihood. So I think that would also, at the end of the day, improve on that is also their livelihood, and it's in terms of security, because really, if you're talking about our girls who really move looking for this grasshopper at night, definitely they will be able to really also talk about themselves. And then definitely that is something also we are talking about. And now police, moving on from that, police won lobbies against IGP Ojola's job. This is where, as by the way, this talk has always been there, as the term of office, that is for the Inspector General of Police, Martin Okoth Ochola, is coming to an end. So many people are saying so many things here and there, because they are saying people are now looking for lobbying to become the next IGP. Now police won lobbies against lobbying for that job. Now this is something that we have been talking about, because so many people want to take over that position. I don't know why, when maybe certain positions are coming, are falling vacant, people tend to really start positioning themselves so that they can be able to really become the next who can be able to take over that position. And now police have warned individuals who are reportedly lobbying for the top position of the law enforcement body. This comes after Inspector General, this comes after the Inspector General of Police, Martin Okoth Ochola's contract is set to be expired next month, and Ochola 66 was appointed as IGP in 2018 and will complete his 5-year contract on March, that is of 16th, raising concerns about who will succeed him after he reaches his retirement age. And police revealed that they will continue to receive information from some section of the public, including propagandists, who always speculate on whether his contract will be renewed, or there will be whether there is going to be a new appointment. And according to the force, some leaders, according to the force, some peddlers have also reached an extent of reporting acts of, that is, fight between its top leadership, which comprises of both senior police and military officers. And this is where we're saying, and this happening now. Enanga said the IG position is not lobbied for, but instead the eligible persons are thoroughly and vigorously vetted and names forwarded to the appointment authority, who is the Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces. And he warned those who think that they can lobby the position to appoint lobby the president to appoint somebody for the position are very wrong and must not waste their time. And that is the information from the police spokesperson Enanga. Enanga said that the work of identifying and vetting the candidates for the position of Inspector General of Police is solely done by, that is, the police authority, as they are aware of what they are doing currently. So really, in most cases, people want to lobby certain positions here and there on who they want to become, and then next, who they will be able to also replace the IGP, that is of police. So, but really, this position, I believe, are to be on merit. And if the president is set to appoint somebody, let it be on merit, not for lobbied for, because in most cases, people spend a lot of money. We do understand this, and it does not only remain with the police. Even during some appointments, people want to really lobby and pay heavy monies such that they can be appointed. Really, that is quite wrong. And then at the end of the day, when they're not appointed, you see them coming out public to also say that we paid a lot of money. That is corruption. I think that is corruption in my own opinion, because this exercise to me is supposed to be free and fair, and really without also really people ensuring that they also give out names here and there such that they can be able to really also be appointed. And that is where I want to echo my voice. I also want to issue my warning to those people who are maybe seeking to be appointed to really desist from certain tendencies of this. And with that, really, we come to a close of today's discussion. But before we step off, I want to appreciate that is UG Vibes Brayo, and he said good morning. I also do appreciate that is Blessed Freds, and he followed the show. That we also do appreciate him for that comment. And we do appreciate each and all of you also who were part of the show right from the time we began until this hour of the morning. And remember, we did discuss so many issues. We did talk about the tobacco farmers who raised their complaints, and really that is something that we did see them as they stormed. That was the meeting for Uganda Revenue Authority to talk about the enforcement and weaknesses that has been there, and which are also resulting to the killings that is between the tax enforcement officials and also the taxpayers, which has not been quite good, where we did see them also coming up with that. Was as part of the resolution in the meeting, I must also say that the price of NAPET for motorcycle was chopped by half, meaning that people are now going to pay just about 700,000, which is going to run, that is for a period of 6 months. So I think it started yesterday. The promotion is ongoing for those who haven't got themselves the NAPETs, who are having the new motorcycles, maybe have been facing challenges. You can now rush to the nearest office of the Uganda Revenue Authority and actually have your motorcycles registered, and you'll be able to also really get the promotional price of half. So I think you need to embrace this, and definitely that would also really greatly impact on your levels, and that would also really at the end of the day also force you not to engage in that running battles with the UPDF officials. And also we did talk about so many issues here and there, and we really appreciate you for being part of the #1 show, the Kokoliriko Live, that comes your ways every Mondays to Fridays. And today I also want to thank each and all of you, as we shall be able to return tomorrow for the Valentine's edition. And I don't know how you're prepared for that day. And this is for the lovers. And really, how prepared is the Valentine's Day, and how should the Valentine's Day be celebrated? That is something that we look forward to talking about. Really, if that is not the case, then definitely people who will be able to celebrate this day may be able to lag behind. So I think I want to really thank each and all of you. And we shall be able to return tomorrow for the Wednesday edition of the Kokoliriko Live show. And my name is Farish Majid, and I appreciate each and all of you for being part of the show. I also want to not forget my team, the technical team, the Zone Pro and Boniface. For now, I want to step out and thank you for being part of the show.